Oh, sorry. We had a problem with the network there. Very serious problem with the network there. I'm so sorry that we had a cutoff. So I want to welcome you back to this discussion time. It's a time we're going to. It promises. We're trusting that it will join us in some few minutes. Hello. Okay, Mr. David.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good
How are
evening.
you, sir?
I'm very well. And you,
Yeah.
sir?
We're sorry. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. We're sorry we have had issues with the network. We came on and we had to cut off again. We're so sorry. And for everybody that have joined us before now, we're so sorry for, the break in transmission.
Yeah.
The network, came up and had to cut us off. We're so sorry for that. But we believe we are well connected now. And so I want to welcome everybody, and I want to welcome Mr. David Adelano to this platform as we're discussing together. Now, the
Thank you,
topic
sir.
we're discussing today is a very key and very paramount topic. Very, very important, very germane for the now, and it's also very germane for the future. It's a posterity topic. I can see we have a common enemy to fight because some nations have
Sure, sir.
even gone bankrupt. Some businesses have gone bankrupt. So it means poverty is glaring every one of us in our faces, and as a financial advisor that you have, we want to really share from your view. Yes, if you look at the scriptures, we see the meaning of poverty from the scriptural perspective as when someone has nothing, like that of Lazarus, that poor man, and that was poor here, and well, later, well, spiritually, probably he was still able to enjoy, affluence and wealth when he got to heaven. But here on earth, I believe God, because the Bible says his plan for us is that we should prosper as much as we be in good health, right? But presently, poverty is facing us very hard with the herald of COVID. And that's why we have you as a financial advisor, as an expert in the financial industry. We believe you'll be able to shed some light, to this. How can we fight poverty? Or in the first instance, what can we say is the meaning of poverty? What is poverty?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to be with you. I like the title says
Yes,
fighting poverty, the enemy after COVID.
yeah,
And if you go back
exactly.
to the concept of COVID itself, it's like a third world war.
Mm.
Is a world war that has been declared. We are actually fighting invisible war. But to narrow it down to the topic, when you're talking about poverty is very complex. It does not mean the same thing to all people in different geographic locations. So when people think of poverty, a lot of times they immediately think of low income. But poverty is more than income. It's more than income. Poverty is multidimensional and much more complicated than monetary figure. But if we are to start and to attach a figure to poverty, the World Bank will tell you that when you are spending less than $2 a day, you are in poverty. Less than $2 a day means 800 naira. If you are spending less than 800 naira a day as a family, you are in poverty. That's automatically, you are talking of 24,000 naira a month. When you are spending less than $1, when you are earning less than $1 a day, which is 400 naira, you're in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty. So like I said, poverty is complex. We have different types of poverty. I can just quickly mention about three.
Okay.
About three. We have generational poverty.
Okay.
Generational poverty. Families being born into poverty and finding it difficult to get out of the situations. And they've been passing the poverty from one generation to another generation.
To another.
The second, right now, you can talk of situational poverty. That is when you find yourself suddenly out of resources, either due to crisis, events, loss of jobs, death of breadwinners, disasters, or health challenges. So it is situational. Then we can also talk of relative poverty. Relative poverty, which depends on expected standard of living. And that is why we say poverty is geographically based. So your income, your family income is not sufficient to meet the standard that you want to live. And that is actually a kind of psychological effect on people. So we can just look at it from those three. Those three usually covers a lot of people when they say they are in poverty. It's either you are from generational issue, situational issue, or you have income, but you believe that you are still in poverty.
Wow, these are eye openers. Sincerely, these are three divisions of poverty that you have just given now. I believe they are serious eye opener to everybody. Some of us will now Nigeria. Let's take for instance Nigeria or Africa. Africa. Can we say more that our type of because you see our leaders, they go around, I mean, proudly to say that Nigeria, we are giants of Africa. Yes, I can agree with them in two aspects. In the aspect that well, we are blessed with natural resources, we are blessed with human resources, right? And I now wonder, with this generational poverty that you have defined, now where do we place Nigeria with all of these human resources, natural resources that we have been blessed with? Now, among these three, how do we categorize Nigeria? Sometimes I go around when I'm driving, I see some things around. I wonder, I mean, sorry to say, has any of our forefathers cursed us? You just wonder what's the problem with giant of Africa? So now with these three, you've mentioned generational, you mentioned situational, right? Now, and you mentioned the third one you mentioned,
relative poverty.
Yes, relative poverty. Now, where do we categorize Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria as a country, you are looking at Nigeria as a country. We have more than these three when we are looking at the different types of poverty. What I've just tried,
really?
Yeah, we have more than these three. What I've tried to do is to narrow it down to the individual. But if we should try to fit Nigeria into these three, I will start with relative poverty. Relative poverty because we are earning the income. We are generating the revenue. We are earning dollars. There are countries that cannot earn 1/10 of what Nigeria is earning, and they are living good. But what we have is the distribution of the income. Some families will never smell the poverty because the income is heavily distributed towards them. Whereas some families within the same country will be struggling to make the ends meet. Don't forget, some few years back, one of the past presidents of Nigeria said that Nigeria is not poor. If you are having private jets flying and taking up landing, how can you say Nigeria is poor? So Nigeria as a country,
Do you even remember in the days of what is this man? I've forgotten his name now. I mean, oh, wow. That he said. I remember when we were young. He said Nigeria, until you see people pick food on the streets, that's when you can say that we're poor. I mean, can you imagine?
Well, I can't remember. Maybe Umaru Diko or so. I can't really remember.
Yeah, yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
the people are picking food from the dustbin. That's when we are
on the street. Can you imagine?
So it's like a head of a family that is earning 1 million naira, and at the end of the day, the children are hungry. So you ask, where is the money? So the children will tell you, the wife will tell you that they are poor. But somebody outside say, but your father is earning 1 million naira every month. How can you be poor? How can you be in poverty? So
that's right.
That is the situation of Nigeria. And like you said, well, maybe our forefathers caused us because we kept asking the question, who do us this way? You know. So,
who did us this way? It's unfortunate.
It's just unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
But there is money.
It's unfortunate.
There is money.
Yeah.
That's one thing that everybody should hold on to. People are making money.
Well, yeah. Now, I like that. I like that positive aspect, you know, that you have just given as a poser now. There is money in this country. Now, we are talking about an enemy we must fight.
Yes, sir.
After COVID-19. And with your assertion now, and as a financial advisor, and with the privilege of where you work, which I mean, I'm not going to discuss for obvious reasons, you know.
Thank you, sir.
Now, the aspect of knowing that there is money in this country, and we still have this enemy, because this COVID-19 has actually opened my eyes to see that we have the ratio of poverty or poor people in Nigeria is quite alarming, right? So at this juncture, can you differentiate for us what is the difference between being poor and being in poverty?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Being poor and being in poverty. When you're looking at being poor is an economic state. People who have low income. Okay. You have low income, you are struggling, but your income is above the poverty line. So it will be due to your level of expenses. You don't have enough money, but you are living a comfortable life. That is being poor. Okay. If you go to the interiors, you go to our villages, our towns, you see their life, they are comfortable. They eat 3 times a day. They eat fresh fruit. Some they will even drink palmy on top. They are not in poverty. They are not in poverty. They are poor.
Wow.
They don't bother about landlords. They are living in their houses. That is being poor. They desire to do more than that. But they are living a comfortable life at that end. But when you talk about poverty, that is when you start asking basic questions. When will my next meal come from? Where? So no food. I'm eating my last food now. I don't know the food I'm going to give my family tomorrow. I don't know the food I'm going to give my family in 2 days' time. That is poverty. The landlord has given you quick notice. You have rent due, and you don't know how to pay the rent. That is poverty.
That's right.
So lack of shelter, lack of accommodation, you are in poverty. How will I pay utility bills? Water, no access to water. You are talking of poverty. So there is a sense of helplessness that comes with poverty. There is nothing one is doing to get out of the financial situation. So there is perpetual uncertainty about everything in life. So they just take each day as it comes. That is poverty.
Poverty.
So we can say poverty entails more than just lack of income. You are simply looking at a serious question mark about the future. But we can put the poor and poverty together for the purpose of this discussion. Because whatever the poor is going to use, whatever strategy the poor is going to use to become rich, those in poverty can also use the same strategies and get out of the poverty pit.
Wow. I mean, that's quite enlightening. That's quite enlightening. Quite interesting. You know, trying to differentiate between being poor and being in poverty. I mean, it's so clear that there are two different things. So clear, you know. And I think the problem of Nigeria or Nigerians is actually how to tackle this enemy, this menace. So I want to believe as a financial advisor, I want to believe there are ways you can advise people. I mean, we are online together. People are watching and learning from, you know, different parts of the world. So we're not going to narrow it down to Nigeria alone anymore, but the COVID-19 has opened our hearts to see that the ratio of being poor, right, is seemingly alarming. You know, yeah, we have known it before now. We had a feel of it before now, but this pandemic in town has really made it to be so glaring that being poor, it's alarming, right? So what are techniques? Yeah, what are the techniques that we can use to tackle that? As the financial advisor, you can really tell people with these proven techniques, things that have been proven. I mean, because I'm privileged somehow to know, as you have, you know, said at different times, at different gatherings, you know, how, you know, like today I was telling my children, I brought out some cutlery that we've been keeping, you know, and I said, okay, for myself, my wife, okay, we use this, and they will say, oh, Daddy, why won't you give us this type of cutlery? I said, no, wait for your time, you know, wait for your time, you know. So when your time comes, you will use this type of, you know, cutlery, and we were trying to make joke with, you know, being born with silver spoon and being born with gold spoon, being born with no spoon at all, you know, and we're just, I mean, cracking joke like that. However, there are ways that, like a person like you have said at different platforms, you know, that I've listened to, that you also came from, you know, that background where you have done menial jobs, you have done, I have done a lot of menial jobs before now, you know, and we have people that have only majored on white collar job. They have not considered the area of the blue collar job, the area of the pink collar job, and how to explore. You know, the gray collar job is when you have even retired, and some can now be consultants, you know. But the blue collar job and the pink collar job, most people are not exploring it. And in my findings, I realized that in Canada, people with blue collar job are even paid far more than people with white collar job. You know, so now, how can we tackle this menace, this common enemy that is staring us and will face us by the time we get out of COVID-19? How can we tackle?
Thank you very much, sir. How do we tackle poverty? This is one jacket does not fit all question. We do not have one solution to it. Like someone typed earlier on, poverty is a disease. I would say poverty is like a disease. Poverty is like an affliction. You need to dimension the affliction. Take, for instance, the coronavirus. People are infected. And we are being told that there is no cure for coronavirus. And people are testing negative thereafter. So they are recovering from this. So what happened? So we need to understand all the problems that lead or that retain people in poverty. Why do few people make it out of poverty? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Because they keep treating the symptoms instead of going to the root of the poverty.
Problem.
So tackling poverty will not be true, will not be just one solution. It will be through array of strategies. And I'm going to look at it from 3 dimensions. I'm going to put all the practical steps into 3 dimensions. The first one, the first one is mindsets. Mindset. And it's simply changing the mindsets of people. I'm not here talking as a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. So we have to just face reality. It's the reality. So mindset, it has been proven that getting out of poverty depends 80% on mindsets and 20% on the income, the skills, the job you do. That is why you see people, they get out of poverty and shortly thereafter they fall back into poverty because they've not actually mastered the mindset. If we should go back and look at coronavirus now, in some countries, people that have been infected and they've recovered, they are getting reinfected.
That's right.
They are being tested positive again. So we ask ourselves, what happened? So for change of mindset, we need self-determination. Our attitude towards money must change. Our personal belief about money must change. About our attitude, our spending habits must also change. We have this mentality of we the poor masses, we the poor masses. Some like me can joke with we the poor masses. But some people are so comfortable with the word we the poor masses. The first thing is you have to delete that vocabulary. You have to delete that word. If you want to get out of poverty, your thinking must be beyond being poor. Your thinking must be beyond being in poverty. Stop.
That's right.
We have to stop making ourselves feel good that after all I'm poor. After all I'm poor. So we have to change that mindset. We have to change that orientation. Poverty is a problem, and we must admit that there is a problem. It's not paying. It's not paying lip service. This is not about lip service. It's about you sitting down and think deeply that I know I have a problem. I know I have a disease. I must stop this. So no matter the money they are going to give to the individual, no matter the opportunities that the individual will come across, if that individual does not make up his mind that I want to get out of this problem, he will continue to be in poverty. Still on the mindset.
Right. You're right.
Still on the mindset.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
We need to stop giving excuses. A lot of people keep giving excuses. People are not helping me. People are not rendering assistance. There are a lot of people that got out of poverty without others' assistance.
Yeah.
This is about mindset that I can do it. I have to do it. Even if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your children. Do it for your children's children. Do it for the generation to come. So that we too will not pass poverty to our generation as inheritance.
That's right.
We need to stop the sense of entitlement. Stop being entitled. Immediately after we are locked down, Nigeria started expecting palliative from government. Palliative. US is giving $1,200. What is federal government giving to us? Instead of us to start focusing on how do I manage myself? out of this
That's right.
mess. We'll come to people that are actually over the 4 weeks of lockdown. They've actually made money, legal money. They were not expecting government palliatives. So they were not looking at it that we are entitled. I'm entitled to 20,000 every month. I'm entitled to 50,000 every month. Nobody is going to look at your poverty and have pity. We have to face the reality. Even our most merciful God is not moved by poverty. God is not moved by poverty. If God is moved by poverty, all of us would have been moved out of poverty.
God is not even poor.
So God is only moved by his covenant. So we should stop expecting life to be easy. Life is not easy. Those are the mindsets that we need to change. It requires effort. Most of the time, I tell people, coming out of poverty is like coming out of a pit. You are in a poverty pit, and you are coming out. So it requires a lot of effort to get out. Now, when you come out of a poverty pit, sometimes a lot of people, they stay by the tip of that poverty tip. They stay there. Instead of moving far away from poverty pit, they stay by the tip of poverty and they start living as if they are out of poverty. And a little wind, a little blow of wind, they are back in the pit. So we need to have that understanding. And the summary of this mindset is simply, it takes you, only you, to get out of poverty. It is you that has the will. You are the only one that can determine that you want to get out of poverty. And that is what I believe is the first dimension. If anybody wants to get out of poverty, before you start learning any strategy, go back, re-examine yourself. Make up your mind. Define your level of poverty. Whether you are in the extreme poverty or you are just poor. How do I get out? So that is the first thing that we need to do.
The mindset.
The mindset.
We have to change it.
Definitely.
Even
the second dimension.
Okay. Yeah, the second way to tackle.
The second dimension is what I call empowerment. We have to empower ourselves. Empower ourselves to make money. Empower ourselves to increase our income. So consciously, we have to look at what are the tools that I need to empower myself to make money. We talk of skills. We talk of education. We talk of information. We talk of knowledge. We talk of understanding. But I'm going to tackle it this way. Let me take this empowerment. One, let me address employees. If you have employees currently, those that are employed and they are collecting salary, please do everything possible to retain your job. It's not going to be easy after COVID-19. Like you said from your opening, you said that businesses have shut down, companies are going down, companies will still go down.
Yeah.
So if you're an employee and your employer was able to pay you full salary for April, then you should be praying for that employer.
You're right.
Gone are the days, as Yoruba people will say, Ogata, Ogauta, Owu Alaru Akpe. Meaning whether my boss makes the money or not, my salary will be complete. It's none of my business. It's no longer in vogue. If there is no money for the business, everybody goes home. So especially for those that do not have any other source of income, we need to be productive. We need to be productive. So that is the first thing under the empowerment. Second is learn how to use your skills to make money. Learn how to use. My emphasis is to use your skills to make money. A lot of us, we have different skills, different talents, different potentials. Some skills, we've acquired the skills, we've paid money for the skills, we've gone to school for the skills. Some are natural skills. Some people are born talkative. They can talk in the evening. When they are on phone, they can talk. That is a skill. They can talk. Someone like me, I do a lot of talking. But my talking brings money. So it is how to use your skill to make money. Some people have skill for MC, for comedy, for cooking. There are people that once they enter the kitchen, from morning to evening, they will remain in the kitchen, cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking. Think of how to make money out of that skill. Some people can boast of IT skill. IT, which is the hot cake now, yet they are not making money out of it. So it is not about acquiring skill. It's not about how many skills you have. The question is, how do you use that skill? You have to use your skill. What you don't use, you will lose. The skills that you don't use, you will lose that skill. Even the Bible told us, the servant that was given one talent, that buried his talent. What happened? He lost the talent. The talent was taken away from him. He lost it. So we need to learn how to use our skill to make money. When people come to me and they're like, we have this product, I can do this. The next question I ask is, how do you want to use it to make money? Don't tell me about your skill. Don't tell me how beautiful it is. Tell me, where is the money? That is the question I always ask people. Just show me where the money is. Because that is what will take you out of the poverty. You know, and sometimes people talk about, people love saying, give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. Who says so?
For lifetime.
There are a lot of people that have been taught how to fish and they refuse to fish. There are some people that have been carried to the riverside. They have the skill. They've been carried to the riverside to fish. They are asking for fishing rod. Some have been given fishing rod. They are asking for fishing nets. Some have been given fishing nets. They're like, no, until I see a shipping trawler before I will start shipping. What if the person does not want to be a fisherman? So change your skill, learn new skill. So that takes us back to the mindset earlier on. So if you see that your skill is not marketable, if that skill is not marketable, improve your skill. Find another skill. It has been proven the best strategy to escape poverty is to learn how to use your skill. To use your skill. Skill that people will pay for, that people are ready to pay for. The third aspect under empowerment is start budgeting and planning. Start budgeting and planning. Set up a realistic budget. You will be surprised, even the little income we are earning, some people cannot budget. They are waiting for when their income will become 100,000. I will start budgeting when my income becomes 500,000. I will start budgeting when my income becomes 1 million. No. Even with the low income, we need to start budgeting. In Proverbs 21, verse 5, the Bible says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty. The plans of the diligent. So the diligent knows that he has to plan. And there is no way you plan, it will lead to plenty. That is the word of God. And those that fail to plan, the Bible says, will lead to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. Those that fail to plan will lead to poverty. So if my salary is 50,000, I should be able to plan on the 50,000. I should be able to have monthly budgets. I should be able to have quarterly budgets. I should be able to have yearly budgets. So that is another aspect of the empowerment that we need our people to adopt. Number 4, develop savings and investment policies. No income is too low to save. And that is why some people, when they are getting promotion and their income is increasing, their expenses increase. The 50,000 was not enough. The salary increased to 100,000. The 100,000 too is not enough. The salary increased to 500. The 500,000 is not enough. The question is, how have they been surviving when the salary was 50,000? How were they surviving when the salary was 100,000? Why can't they just close their eyes that, yes, I have had increase in income. Let me pretend as if I did not earn that income. COVID-19 pandemic exposes a lot of families without savings. It was a disaster. Even as a country, it exposes us. So whether you are a daily wager, a monthly salary earner, you must develop savings and investment policy. I use the word, Reverend, I use the word policy, not habit.
Yeah, not habit.
Habit can be broken.
Now, what's the difference?
Habit can be broken easily. Your wife can break your habits. My wife can break my habits. Friends can break my habits. But once I tell you, sir, this is my policy, automatically you put it in reverse. No matter the pressure coming from you. No.
That's right.
This is my policy. I don't joke with it. Everybody will just stay where he or she is. My wife will just draw the line.
That's right.
So we need to develop the savings and investment policy. No matter your income, you must be able to do that. And what are the practical ways of doing that? You can talk of regular eating at home. A lot of us, we are so used to restaurants. We are still used to fast food. And we spend we are not bringing down those running the business. They have their purpose. But I should not be living on restaurants. I should not be living on fast food. You should be able to cook at home and save some money. Because Mr. Delano is eating in Sheraton. You two want to eat in Sheraton. Because I'm eating in Success Station, you two want to eat in Success Station. No. We should be able to cut costs. We should learn to buy provisions, food, in bulk, instead of piecemeal. So you know your wallet, you know your purse. You should be able to say, okay, instead of buying this in piecemeal with extra 100 naira on it, let me buy a dozen every week. And I know that's what I'm going to use. It's when that doesn't finish that I will go and buy another dozen. We should learn to cut unnecessary expenses like Owambe,
Owambe party, Ashwebi people.
Now
Ashwebi people.
we can't wear the Ashwebi to anywhere. Now,
okay.
A lot of people don't, even if nobody says you should not buy Ashwebi, budget. Let it be in your budget.
That's right.
What you want to buy. But every function, we buy new clothes.
Ashwebi.
And the reality is, those of us that are not rich, Those of us that are not rich, we are the ones that need to manage our fund more than the rich people. Even the little resources. So it's not the rich that should be practicing savings and investments, budgeting. It is we that have little resources that should be doing that.
That's right.
So we should learn not to live above our means. 5.
That's true. That's true.
The 5th, under the empowerment, develop streams of income. This is a topic, a whole topic on its own. But I'm not going to go depth into it. You know,
at the start, I was talking about, people that just major their income life to white collar job.
Yeah.
I think it is essential that we should let people know that there must be a paradigm shift. It is sure white collar job cannot be sustainable. Especially in this side of the world. So after COVID, like you're saying, you must develop streams. Even if you are working because white collar job is just you are working to earn salary.
Definitely.
Right? But blue collar job, pink collar job, these are the areas you display your skills. You let people know what you carry on your inside. In fact, I have taken a thought very seriously, and it's one thing, is a vision I have caught after now. I'm going to seriously drive how people must gather skill after now. I will be a proponent of getting at least one skill. You must have a skill. Because that's where we're going.
Exactly.
There must be something that is different from you earning salary and you're just waiting, and if there is no salary, like now, like you have said, some people after COVID-19, in fact, now some people are already stuck.
Definitely.
Some people don't know what to go after now. So, but you will be very bold to fight this common enemy if you know that you carry something.
Definitely.
But if you have nothing, you cannot create streams of income with nothing. So I like, please emphasize on it.
Now, what we are simply saying when you are talking of streams of income is, if you have a job, nobody is saying you should resign from your job.
Cool. Exactly.
But you can have a second job. You can have an hustle. And the side hustle can even become the main job along the line. And it's simply about utilizing your skills, utilizing your passion, what you feel you enjoy doing. We cannot go deep into it because it depends on the individual, Nobody will prescribe drugs for you that go and sell this, go and trade this. So sometimes people call me, what business can I do? I can't tell you what business you should do. You will need to.
We still have questions. You are still attending to. So I have about 3 questions already here.
No problem, sir.
We still have a question that relates to that.
So
all right.
I can't tell you what you should do. That is a plain truth. But what I can help you to do as a mentor is to sit down with you and guide your thoughts. Guide your thoughts so that at the end of the day, you are able to discover your purpose. You are able to discover your talent. You are able to discover what your skill can generate. If I tell you should start selling provisions, if you are not good in attending to customers, that is the end. The provisions will go down.
That's it.
We've seen people where they've been given 10 million, 5 million, and few years later, they are begging for 20,000, 10,000, and you are now wondering what happened to the 5 million, what happened to the 20 million. I've seen a former minister in this country chasing 500,000 naira. A former minister.
Wow.
And I was like, what happened to all the businesses? What happened
in minister of our generation or generation of our father?
No, I'm not talking of 1970. This generation.
This generation.
This
wow.
generation that they lost out was minister, a federal minister lost out, you know, and currently struggling to eat. So what happened to all the businesses? They couldn't manage the business.
Well, maybe
they couldn't even set up businesses.
Maybe his own too is generational type of poverty. You know,
exactly.
That, you know, this generational type of poverty you mentioned, you know, it's a serious thing. In fact, I will still raise a serious program on that. You know, generational poverty, I mean, could be the cause of that man's own. It could be that he's been caused. It could be that he mismanaged. It could be that poverty just runs in their family, and no matter how high you go, you still have to come back. You know, it's a serious thing.
On generational poverty, the individual should know. The individual should know that he's fighting generational poverty, and psychologically, the mindset, he must be prepared for the battle. Some of us, we know the generational poverty that we are fighting, and that is why we fail to live like living a flamboyant life. So you don't have such at the back, and you are living a life as if that is it. You have arrived.
As if you are there.
If there are no streams, that are bringing water to the ocean will get dry.
That's it.
So you need to look for businesses that are not in conflict with your employer. If you are employed, you look for businesses that you can do on Saturdays. If it's Saturdays that you can run the business, you look for businesses that you can do in the evening. Instead of just getting home and you are sleeping.
You're right.
That is why we look at, if you don't venture, you don't gain. No venture, no gain. Even Proverbs 11:24 says, there is one who scatters, yet increases more. What's he doing? He's opening streams. He's scattering, he increases. And the one that holds tight, hold tight what he has, it leads to poverty. So we need to learn to open streams. The richest man in Africa is still opening streams. Dangote is still opening streams. He already has an ocean, but he's still opening streams, bringing water. So you have only one job. A job that the boss can wake up tomorrow and tell you, go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm no longer interested. Anything can happen. So we need to understand that, and we need to follow that through. 6.
That's serious.
That's serious. I will 6. To help with the streams of income, we need to seize opportunities.
Around us. Opportunities around us.
Businesses, connections, networks, relationships, information. We need to seize opportunity. I was reading something last night, just yesterday, on a business, and the owner said he has produced 1 million Ankara mask. 1 million Ankara mask. And they've been pushed to the markets. Vendors have bought them. I don't know how much is the Ankara mask. Let me just put it at 50 naira. 50 naira or 100 naira. Why a lot of us were crying under the lockdown. Somebody has already produced 1 million. So that is 50 million or 100 million. So that is opportunity.
That's right.
We are all crying and screaming. Somebody saw opportunity as far back as the first lockdown, and the person has produced. All of us are now just doing catch up. All of us are not just doing catch-up with the Kara mask. And that's why even Bible said, Ecclesiastes 9:11, the race is not to the swift, nor for the battle, for the strong, nor the bread for the wise, nor riches for men of understanding, nor favor to the men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. So what is the time? What is the chance that is actually happening to us that we are exploiting? Some of us, we just talk about it. We talk about it. We talk about it. And that is the end. Instead of us to grab that opportunity, we keep talking about it. So we need...
And opportunities are all around.
Opportunities are all over. I can tell you.
All over. Yeah.
As fully occupied as I am, I still see opportunity that I grab along the line. I still see streams of income that I create. These days, I create for people. But you just see people discussing and discussing and discussing without asking the basic question: how can I make money from this?
Out of this. So opportunities are all around.
Opportunities. There were situations I will be driving and I will be looking right and left for things that will just trigger opportunity. And I will park, put it down. Those days, my pen, my book are always with me.
Sometimes the problem of our people, I mean, before you go to the third point of how to tackle poverty, that you mentioned, you said you're going to mention 3. Now, before you go to the third one, now, sometimes our people look at how to go about, investment, how to get capital, because there is a question here. Somebody was asking, what method or technique can you use to start up business capital? So sometimes people, there are some people, we can give it to them. They have visions, they have ideas, they look around, they see opportunities, at their beck and call, but they are thinking, how do I get capital? And they feel, capital is a limitation. Well, I know that, obviously capital is not meant to be a limitation. It should only be a limitation at some level, right? Because I know how, in the history of Lord's portion, I know the token how God had used to start, even that vision, so, and I've also seen people that started business small, in fact, with very little capital, so how do we, the first question we have had is, what method or techniques to start up, can we adopt to start up, a business with capital, so maybe you just mingle that, alongside as you're talking about the third point.
Okay, let me quickly address it before I go to the third dimension.
Okay, all right.
Like you said, capital is not the major thing when it comes to business. The major thing is your idea, your concepts. Is your concept, is your idea marketable? Can you convince me? There are people with money out there that they are looking for ideas to finance.
That's right.
But if you sit down one-on-one and I start asking you questions, can you defend that idea? Not an idea that we just see somebody talking about, you copy, and you come, want to run. Somebody is selling rice. And you want to sell rice because rice is moving. I'm going to ask you, what are the ingredients you're going to put in the rice? What will make your rice to sell? What will attract customers? And at that point, a lot of people always lose it. But if you are convinced of your business ideas, there are banks that you can approach. There are individuals they can approach. Individuals are ready to take the risk. People are taking risk. So that's what I can say on capital. First, convince yourself. Capital. Throughout this lockdown, the lockdown is supposed to be a period people should have pushed up their idea, brush up their ideas. What are the the things that I need to make this idea work. Yes, I need money, but if I can get all my ingredients right, I should be able to convince somebody that this is the fund, this is the capital.
This idea can work. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the problem most people also have is you know, if you don't back up your vision with passion,
definitely
you have a problem.
Definitely.
You know, so people have, okay, yeah, you copy this thing. Okay, look at in those days when we were very young, you know, in those days we used to have what we call what do we call it now? This plantain dodo or whatever you call it, igbetere, you know. But some people came up with the idea of, you know, packaging it well, and we call it plantain chips. You know, we used to, in those days too, we used to have you know, pure water. You know, people that have pure water, they hawk it all around, pure water, tuture. Some people came with the idea of packaging it, make it sachet water, you know, and you see people running into it, and they now get stuck, and now say, it's not selling. The machines are getting spoiled. And this is happening, that is happening. That business is not really good. I think, and some people have stayed in it. I think it's passion. So even if you have your ideas, it must be an idea born out of passion. Something you can, even if the chips are down, you can still have this resilience, you know, of moving ahead and not saying, okay, because everybody is doing it, you go into it. Everybody is coming out of it, you come out of it. You know, I mean, it's a thing people must get. All right. So let's move ahead on your top point.
Okay, thank you, sir. On the third dimension, I look at it from spirituality, the spiritual point of view. God has given us power over our lives. He gave it to us. We can change our story. We can change our poverty level. And Jabez that power when he changed his story. So first, you need to change your mindset. You empower yourself. Then you leave everything to God. Somebody may ask, why am I putting God last? I'm not putting God last. God has always been the first. He's there. He's just waiting for us. And that was why in Proverbs 28:19, it says, he who tills his land, he who tills his land, we have plenty of bread. So you have to empower yourself. You have to find your land. You have to find the stream that you want to till. When you do that, you can run to God. It's the ultimate. And he said,
that network is breaking there.
Hello? Are you with me?
Wow, the network is breaking there.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Wow.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So what I was simply saying is that we need to renew our faith in God, in whatever we do. We need to renew our faith. And that was why I was backing it up with Proverbs 28:19, which says, he who tills his land, we have plenty of bread. So we need to identify which land, our land. Like you said, passion. You must identify the idea that is giving you that passion, that you will not be tired. There are situations that I work 24/7 and people are not tired. It's because I've been able to find my land that I'm tilling. And the Bible says, he who follows volity, he who chases fantasies,